This is Gerardo Del Real with Resource Stock Digest. Joining me today is the president and CEO of Aben Resources, Mr. Jim Pettit. Jim, how are you this morning?
I'm good. Thanks for asking.
You had some news recently. Let's get right into it. The headline reads, Aben continues to expand mineralized footprint at the North Boundary Zone at the Forest Kerr Gold Project in BC's Golden Triangle. I believe that you released another results from another 5 drill holes. And let me give you my interpretation of the way the market is taking it. You are finding lower grade mineralization all over the place. I believe you've hit in every hole you found mineralization, but you haven't been able to vector in yet on that high grade feeder zone that the market is waiting for. Would you take that as accurate?
Oh yeah, that's very accurate actually. Yeah, I mean we were very fortunate the last 2 years to start our drill seasons with some pretty spectacular results. That North Boundary Zone, where we've been drilling the last couple of years, has been very rewarding, very high grade. But we've drilled over 30 holes there now, and we're starting to realize, okay, it's confined. So everything we're doing this year is starting to just step away from it to the south, as following some historic results, like the Noranda hole from 30 years ago. 300 meters to the south of the North Boundary was very high grade. So we've drilled around that and under it, et cetera, and we're hitting lots of mineralization in these new holes. It's not the 300 gram material, but there's lots of it. There are higher grade intercepts within the holes we're drilling, and lots of low grade. I mean, we've got one hole there, I believe, there's about a half a gram of, if you want to stretch it right out, it's 300 to 400 meters. That's, if we were down in Arizona, that would be great. That's
absolutely.
Up there where we are, we want higher grade. But as we move south, we keep hitting it. So what our guys are really paying attention to in geology terms, and geochem terms is alteration. And we've hit this zone around that Noranda hole, what's called quartz sericite alteration, very intense. And now as we move south, we're hitting more what's called potassic alteration with the sericite and quartz. And that's really indicative. The potassic is kind of lets you know that you're getting closer to a heat source. That's what we're looking for. So we're working on, these longer holes, using our geophysics that show potential intrusives down below. And that's what we're trying to find, because when we take the geophysics and overlay it with what we've drilled on the North Boundary Zone, there are intrusions related there that you can see. And so we're drilling off the flanks of a lot of these intrusions, and I think that's probably one of the reasons we're still into mineralization everywhere. But as we start seeing more potassic alteration along with the sericite, I think we're getting closer. That's what the guys think. So we've moved further south even, and we've got lots of core in for assay. We've now reported on 8 holes. We've drilled now 24, I believe it is. Getting an update later today.
Okay.
We got lots more to go. And just because we didn't hit that high grade zone right at the beginning, it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. I mean, if you look at our chart, you can see any time through, July or August, September, October, great results can come out. Our geos are liking what we're seeing. We've got lots of low grade mineralization that could end up turning into bulk tonnage, along with some of the higher grade hits that we hopefully will see as we go forward. But we're not over the moon about not hitting these high grade. We'd love to hit it continually, but until we get a handle on where it's coming from and the structure, this is where we're at, and it's a good thing. I think what we'll pull out of this year is, we are going to hit a lot of mineralization, and we're going to also have a lot of guidance going forward. we're going to be able to really analyze. That's one thing the guys haven't really had. We just are waiting on the assay interpretation coming back, the analysis capability. So, when we're finished, and we'll be finished, in the next week or 10 days, we've got to be able to take all that data and spend some time.
Let's take and sorry to cut you off there, Jim. Let's take the bird's eye view on this, because it's very clear to me in looking at the maps and the targets and the holes that have been reported and the ones you've drilled that, you've only tested a very, very small portion of the targets that you've defined thus far. Speak to me about that and how, and you touched on it earlier. You said you're trying to vector into the heat source, obviously, but speak to how you're prioritizing the holes that you're drilling now.
Well, where we're at right now is substantially further south. It's a target we've had in our PowerPoint for quite some time. It's 12 kilometers to the south, because that's where we want to end the season. We have to spend, another, $150,000 to $200,000 down on this particular part of the property. Once we've done that, we've earned 100% of everything. So our earn-in will be done. And we've been looking at this target for quite a while. We've sampled all around it. There's great golden grain, golden till soil and rock samples. And so we want to drill through that zone into this big intrusive that's sticking out. It's not even underground that we have to see with geophysics. It's sticking out of the ground. We want to know what that thing is. And again, what you would normally do is drill off the flanks of these things. You'll put a hole or two straight into it and see what it is. But, we don't know. And that's what we're doing right now. But if you look at, so there is a specific page in our PowerPoint that shows you the north boundary zone, and then this southern forest zone, it's called. They're very tiny in relationship to the size of the property, because it's 50 kilometers long, the whole property. So there's lots still to and we've had a crew out doing further field work in other parts of the property right now, following up on some of the original data compilations. So by the end of the winter, we'll have a pretty good idea of what to do and where to look next year. A little more intensive research.
It's called exploration for a reason. We have a lot more assays coming up. Jim, thank you for taking time today. And of course, I'm looking forward to speaking with you here soon as the assays continue to trickle in.
Great. Excellent.
All right. Appreciate it, Jim. Thanks again.
Yep. Bye-bye.